All right, here is our pillow. And what we're going to do in this video is unwrap this and texture it. This might be a little bit of a longer video, but I'm going to do my best to essentially, you know, make this as easy as possible for you. All right, so I'm going to go in here and select my B surface mesh here, hit Control D to duplicate it, or Shift D rather, and I'm going to hit Escape. I'm going to turn off the lock here, and I'm going to hide the original B surface mesh, and I'm going to rename this one Low. And then I'm going to go to my modifier panel, and I'm just going to apply this shrink wrap. And now I have my pillow high and my pillow low. And my pillow low now, with that off, I should be able to just sort of, if we go to object mode here and hit G, I should be able to just move it around. Now what I'd like to do, let's hide pillow high here, is right click and shade smooth. And it looks like this face did get flipped. So I'm going to tab, go to edit mode, hit 3, just go to our regular selection, and just hit X and delete that face and recreate it. Might be multiple faces, and that's why I got messed up. Let's try this again, 2, and it happens. To select edge mode, F to fill it, and there we go. I'm also going to go into here, and I'm going to turn off wireframe. Let's see, and what's missing? A display wireframe. That should be off by nature. And let's go to visibility here. And that all looks good. Let's look at the color here. Our alpha is 1. And let's, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these two materials. Let's see. Oh, let me go to object mode. There we go. And now I hit the minus and get rid of these, and I'll apply new material. You can see that I got rid of the B surface mesh material. I'm going to call this pillow underscore MTRL. And for base color here, I'm going to apply a image texture. And I'll create a new texture. And what 1024 by 1024 is more than fine. That's pretty huge for a pillow, but I'll just call this pillow underscore albedo. And then I'll hit new image. All right, so a couple things I want to do is off on the side here, I actually have a shader editor. And let me right click and show you how to create that. I'm going to join right, so that collapses that. But let's say you want to add the shader editor here. You can right click, create a vertical split, left click, go up here and open your shader editor. And this is our shader editor. And another thing I want to do is in this normals channel here, I just want to add another, essentially another one of these image textures. So hitting Shift D, I can duplicate that, and I'm gonna hit X here to clear this out and drag this color right into the normal there. So now I have a normal here, and I'm gonna hit New, and just gonna make this like a light purple or light blue, and I'll just call this pillow normal. And I'm gonna hit New Image. And I'm going to show you an alternative to how I would texture this, but first we need to unwrap it. So let's jump over to UV editing here, and I'm going to show you a different way of unwrapping it. So we kind of have a good idea how I'd like, how we'd like to unwrap this. And that is where we have the front, and then we just have this top part peeled off. So I'm going to manually go in here this time, and I'm going to add those seams. So I'm going to go ahead and hit 2 to go to edge mode, and I'm going to select these edges here because I'd like a cut to go this way, all the way, come on, all the way around like this. I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. Come on. See how I have a kind of a cut going like this? And I'm going to right click and I'm going to do mark seam. And there's my cut. And then what I'd like to do is cut all the way down on one side. And I'm going to do a quick unwrap in a second. It's not going to look great, but it's going to give you an idea of what I'm doing here. So I can select all the way on this edge here. Let me hit Alt-C so that maybe you could see it better. And then right click, mark seam. Now I don't want this cut here, so I'm going to select that and right click and hit clear seam. So that does happen. So you can see here, I have a cut that goes all the way around here. So it should pull this top part off and then I have a cut that goes here all the way to the bottom. So it should take this side and rip it over here. So I'm going to hit A and then U, and then unwrap angle base. And you could see here that that cut is this whole cut here, right? See that whole cut? And that this cut's here. So a couple other things is like, well, I need a cut going this way because I want this side, right? Let's go inside of here and take a look. I want this side to fold out straight. So I'm gonna select that and then hit U in here. And then I know there's a way to mark seam in here. It has to, this is our UV editor window. Let's see if there's the hotkey in here. I don't know, we'll just right click in here and mark seam. I forget, I jump between so many applications. So I went ahead and cut that, and you could see it automatically, boom. If it's not automatically doing that for you, if you go to options up here, you can turn on and off live unwrap. So let me turn it off and show you what's happening here. So let's say I want to add a cut to this side, right? Because I want this. If I hit, I think it's Control E. Yeah, Control E is mark seam. That's right. Okay, so I guess I'm not forgetting as much as I did as I go through these programs. So let's go ahead and hit A and then U to unwrap it. And you can see now it unwrapped it. But with live unwrap on, I kind of like to have it on. Sometimes it does mess up, but it'll actually live unwrap something. So if I want these two separated, which I don't, but let's say I did, like this cut from this, if I hit that Shift E or Control E rather, let's do it in this view. See how it broke it apart in real time. All right, so I'm gonna hit A and then I'm gonna hit R to rotate and then 90 degrees. Let's make sure this is our top. And is this our bottom? Yeah, that's our bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one more time. So A, R, 180 degrees. And there's our top. So I'm gonna hit A and then G, and I just wanna fit this in here. I'm gonna hit S to scale it up. Now I could put this with the other texture. Actually, you know what? I did say I was gonna do that, so I am gonna do that. So I'm gonna hit object mode here, and I'm gonna exit my layout here. And let's hit and layout Alt H. And what I'd like to do is select this chair here and then my low pillow. So I'm holding Control. So I've got them both selected. And I think what I'm going to do is trying to think for a second. I might actually, if I add these two together and I bake this normal, it might do some sort of screw up on this one. That's the one I'm worried about. Because remember, we on this UV here, we left a bunch of space here for our pillow, which is a good way to do it. Normally what I would do is in another program is I'd bake them all out together. And then I would, you know what, let's just give it a shot. You know what, let's do it all as one piece, and then that'll at least speed it up. And then you have a pillow that you could use in multiple places if you want. And then we can create a bunch of different variations of the texture. All right, so let's go back and select our pillow high and our pillow low. And then remember, Shift H hides everything. So on my pillow low here, let's hide my pillow high here. Let's see, we've got that unwrapped. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can bake this out. So remember to save it because this can sometimes crash. Make sure you're on cycles. Under bake here, we want to do, let's see, bake. We want to do under just below influence selected active 0.01. The output, it says image textures is good. Let's see. For bake type here, I'm going to do the normal first because I want to show you a different way of texturing that we use. So with that, you always want to select your high first, and then your low, and then your low will turn that dark orange. And then we're just going to go ahead and remember with my low here, I did duplicate this. I created a texture and I plugged it in the normal channel so it knows where to bake to. So let's select both of these. Oh, and the other thing you have to remember is you have to select your pillow normal or it won't always work. Let's go ahead and hit bake. No active image found. So here's my pillow high to my pillow low. There we go. Is it control select, not shift? Yeah, I think it's that. And let's select our low and let's go to texture paint. You can see here it did bake it. It got a little messed up here. So we might have to play with this a little bit. Let's see. Let's select our cycles here. And I'm going to play with this number because it seems like it's a little too close, I think. So, and this is part of the game of going back and forth with this. So let's expand selected active, and let's try something crazy and do 0.1 and see what happens, and then just dial it back. So again, pillow high, pillow low, bake. Actually, that looked pretty good. And now you can see I have this. It looks like I'm also getting some other UVs here. Oh, that's because I'm getting the high res. So here's my low, right? So I'm going to save this out. And I want to show you guys a trick. So this is my pillow normal, right? And then I'm going to save it in that same chair file. Now let me go back to Photopea, and I want to show you a trick. I'm going to open this texture in Photopea and how we can create the texture for our pillow high. You can see it added that there. All right, so there's a trick that it's kind of an old school trick. Is if you wanted to get some nice highlights and shadows painted, you take your normal map here, and what you do is you go to filter, and then, or rather, is it image? Adjustments, and then we just desaturate the image here. And right off the bat, you're getting some shadow information, some highlights, and you're getting some stenciled or drawn out lines on your pillow. And sometimes if you're using, we used to do this with the Wii games, and we sometimes do this now with Switch games when we're working on them, because we don't want to, if we have a lot of stuff on the screen, we don't want to overload it, or we want to add more polygons or textures to the hero model, which is sometimes most likely the character, or like a big building. You'll leave this kind of like this, and then you won't apply normal at all inside the game engine. And then the next thing you do is you do image adjustment, and you go to levels here, and you just kind of tweak this a little bit so that you're getting it's light, and you're just kind of pushing those lines. And then what I do is we do file, and then we do save more, because I don't want to save over, because I actually have the normal map open. If I do save now, it's going to save it as a normal. Let's do save more, or export as. That's probably what we're looking for. And I'll do a JPEG for this one. And then the name of this will be pillow underscore, and it could be albedo again or color map. And I'm going to save that. And then inside of that, the chair folder, which I need to rename. Let's see if I get this. This is in the textures raw. Let me expand this out again. Let's see, textures. Here we go. CHA. I need to spell it with chair. I think I just it's there. So there's chair below. I'm going to do pillow color map. I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to jump back into Blender and show you essentially what I start to do with this. All right, so here we are in Blender. And what I want to do here is with my low selected, I want to go to my material, and I want to replace this pillow albedo. So I'm going to hit this little file here. And then inside of that same folder, which is located in desktop, environment alias, and then like I said, I need to rename it. So pillow color, I'm going to hit open image. You can see that's that map, right? And even if I deactivate the normal map, so let me switch this out to my pillow color map here. Like this is with the normal and that image on top, that texture on top. So this is both of them. But if I remove the normal map altogether, so let's go to our layout here, and I'll do that by disconnecting that. So let's go ahead to, let's see. Let's just delete that. You see, it still looks good. And then here's my normal read attached. So you don't even need this. It looks like it has a normal map on there because we painted in those. It's almost like painting in those textures. So I might leave that disconnected for now, just so you can see it as I begin to continue to paint this. So let's jump back into Photopea and then just create a really basic, quick color texture, and then we'll apply it to our chair. All right, here I am back in Photopea, and what I want to do is I'm going to pause the video and I'm just going to type in like a cloth, like cloth or some sort of material, right? And I'll show you what I do in a moment. All right, so here I am, and I just typed in cloth texture inside of Google, and I love Pixabay. It's like all free stuff. I can go in here and save it, but I'm just gonna grab it from this image just to save time. I mean, you could also grab something like this and just do copy image, and then you can go back in here and then just paste it, Control V, and then on this layer, you can multiply it and drag this out like that. And you just created a nice little fabric texture here. It's not going to line up perfectly because these are not perfectly straight, but it's a quick way because we're not going to see the back of the pillow anyway, unless you decide to duplicate and put them all over the place, which is totally cool. Like you could put them on the floor. It adds a lot of personality. But what I'll sometimes do is I'll just flip these and I'll multiply this one on top because it has the white and the black. And I'll leave this one as normal. And I'll go back in here and I'll do I think it's Control L or Command L. Let's see, is it Alt L? Let me get rid of this. It's the layers modes, adjustments. Yeah, it's Command L on Mac, but for some reason it opened up and I'll just kind of tweak this more so I get more of those lines. See that? And more of those highlights. And then another thing they'll do is sometimes we'll duplicate that same image. And then I hit Command I to invert the color. See, now it gave me my white highlights. And then we set this as a screen. Again, this is an old school trick. And now you can see we have the highlights that are painted in. And then this one, you just take the opacity down a good amount. So something like this. And I'll put that below my background, my multiply. There's also these other layer styles, like there's difference, which tends to give it a little bit of personality, subtract. So you could see it really pulls out those things with the highlights. If I take that out, you'll see. So you can play with the different ones. Color dodge is a good one, but that's if you have more color information. And darken is a good one where if it would be, oh, let me turn this back on. Let's bring color dodge back on. Color burn is a good one. It burns that color in there. So I'll leave it as screen and I'll make it very low, something like this. And actually, I'll put it below my background. So let me save that and show you what that looks like. So save more or export JPEG. I'll just write over the same image. Oh, did it save it as? Oh, I should have saved this pillow color map. It looks like I saved over my normal map. See, that's what I meant. Like, I really should have did file and then open that pillow color map. And now I've written over my normal. So let's open that up, and we should have been modifying this. But let's go ahead and do file, save more, or JPEG rather, and then save, and then let's go ahead and just select the right one. So pillow color map here, and then hit save, and then replace it. And then I think I can update it. I know there's a command inside of Photoshop where you can re-import it or reset it. I'm not sure if they have that in Photopea. Like you can update it. But let's just do yeah, it's okay. So let's jump back in Blender and see how this looks. All right, so here it is. Now, if yours didn't update, make sure to go into select your model, go to the material, and then under pillow color map, hit the folder and grab it again. And let's see. So you can see now that's there. Ideally, you want to paint in like shadows and highlights and pull these a little bit. And let me see if I think I did write over my normal map. But anyway, that's one way of doing it. So how do we even push this even further? Well, we could paint in like little pieces or things like that. But let's go back to Photopea. We'll add an extra layer of maybe some little cloth lines. So something else we can do is like, do you see these little fabric pieces? I can copy something like this, come back in here, and then just paste this in here, and then just multiply that on top as well. And now you can see we get cloth. And then I usually take the opacity way down and I play with the levels. Let's put this below this. That way our color is higher. And then let's multiply this color on top. And so we get something like this. And then let's save that. And like I said, it doesn't always update inside of Blender. So pillow color map. Yes, I want to replace that. See, this time it didn't update here, so I'm just going to update it here. Now you can see it's there. And I'll take this, I generally will, you know, play with the roughness a little bit. There we go. All right, so if I go to layout and let's move this over a little bit. Hit Alt-H to unhide everything. I hide my pillow high. And let's see. Let me hit Shift-H again. There it is. Okay. Yeah, it was writing over it. We now have a pillow, and I'm going to set origin to geometry. There we go. You've now textured your pillow. And what's cool is, like I was saying, is you could turn this into a set piece, right? So we can rotate this, and it looks nice, right? It looks pretty good. You know, if you want them to be smaller pillows, you can Shift D, move those over, Shift D again. And you kind of, what you do is you think of these as mini environments, right? So like you would group all of this together if you wanted. So let's go to the item here and let's just zero, not the rotation, but let's zero, or not the transform, but let's zero out the rotation. And then, oh, did I rotate? Did I zero out the scale by accident? Yeah. And just do RY90. Oh, sorry, RY90. RY180. There we go. And then you can just place this on the floor next to it. And you see, just by doing that with the one model, it adds a lot of personality, right? And it wasn't a lot of hand painting, right? You just did a little bit of normal mapping. I should have left that ground plane in there so I could see where we are. But we could also do that by snapping this and then kind of. I mean, if you really want to be cool, you could do something like this, like it fell and then it's sitting against the edge of the chair. See, this is how you sort of start to build up personality in your environment. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to save this. And we're going to eventually export this as its own chair with pillows like model. And you could, and you should just save off a pillow copy for itself, because you want to build a library of assets you made that you're not constantly redoing, right? So say you don't want this pillow, but you want to create a secondary texture. Well, I already taught you. You can just get rid of this canvas, this thing, and just make it blue. Now you have a blue pillow. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a quick finish up the class for now, and I'll continue to make videos, and let me know if you want links to them on how to continue to complete this environment. Because I feel like you have all the tools now to do that. But again, I don't mind, there's so many more advanced techniques. We didn't even get a chance to go over Substance Painter in this class. But in the next video, we'll go ahead and finish painting and texturing this chair.